We're at a point right now where our response times are well above the national average. And unfortunately, our citizens are waiting much longer for help. And quite frankly, we do not have enough staffed equipment to meet the demands of our growing city. We have many challenges, but some of our biggest challenges are our geography as a city and our capacity to handle multiple calls at the same time. Right now, the city is 13 miles long. We only have one dedicated fire engine, and that distance is huge, and it can take 17 to 18 minutes to get from one end to the other.
Response time is one of the most critical things in law enforcement, and right now our average response time is 9 minutes. The national average is 5 minutes. So if you think about when you're needing help, how long a minute takes. If it's a medical related call, that's obviously even more important that we respond and help. And then also if it's any type of violent call, the quicker we can get there, the quicker we can apprehend suspects, the quicker that we can secure evidence, and the better outcome for the community. Over the last 4 years, we've seen around an 87% increase in violent crime, which is pretty significant. Those investigations become way more lengthy and detail-oriented, which take a lot more resources, which we're already short on. So that is the biggest concern, is the combination of growing population and the types of crime we're seeing has been a challenge for us.
The biggest changes that we've had in our department since 2006 would be just the significant increase in call volumes and our inability to be able to handle that increase with the current staffing level that we've had, as well as just the geographical area of the city has expanded so much that just given the distances we have to travel is impacted our ability to meet those needs.
How many firefighters and fire engines do you think are protecting our 50,000 people during the day and 30,000 people at nighttime? Because we have to think about our impact is 50,000 to 55,000 during the day. We've got 7 firefighters on duty to protect 50,000 during the day and 30,000 at night. It's not enough. We don't have any resources available when that third or fourth call comes in. It causes our fire officers to make decisions as to which call is the highest priority, and often they have to divert from one call to another or quickly clear a call so that they can start responding to another call.
At any given time, we have 3 to 5 officers, and the challenges that come with that will be when we get multiple calls. A lot of the calls we get require multiple officers. So if you think of an officer on a traffic stop that calls for backup because there's something suspicious with the vehicle, that's half our shift. And then it's not uncommon that while that's happening, we have a domestic call, which you should probably have 3 officers respond to a domestic call. Just in that moment, we have no more officers to respond in the city. And that scenario is not uncommon at all. It's actually very frequent that we'll encounter an inability to respond quickly to calls for service. And so what you see are officers no longer proactively policing because they're having to stay available to help their partners and to respond to the calls for service coming in. The community has to choose between a reactive or a proactive police department. The community should understand the challenges of longer response times and understand that as we grow, that is not going away. That problem is going to keep getting worse. And we try to adapt as a police department, but at some point you just need more resources. And again, as a department head for the city, I want the best police department for our community. And if we give the community all the information, then they get to choose on what they want moving forward.
Well, if this levy passes, immediately we'll be able to hire staff to man a second dedicated fire engine at our North Station near Costco. And that this will give us 2 staffed fire engines and 2 staffed ambulances 24 hours a day. And then the planning and construction of our third station can occur over 2 to 3 years, and that third station then would be cross-staffed with a fire engine and an ambulance, so whatever would be needed would be dispatched, so we could either get a fire engine or an ambulance that would respond from that station.
With the levy, the 2 biggest benefits we'll see are decreasing our response times, making sure we can get to your call for help quicker, and also just adequate coverage for the city. The staffing will definitely stabilize us to a point where we can properly police the community, be proactive, engage with our community, and ensure that those partnerships remain so we're the safest community possible.
Often we respond to situations that are likely one of the most critical or dangerous times in someone's life.
We're here for you to provide the best service that we can. And currently, we're struggling to keep up with that demand of the service that we provide.
We're very fortunate to want to have a supportive community, and we have officers that show up every day with a purpose to serve the community. And we've been able to keep those high standards, and we have officers that want to do better. They want to spend more time with the community. They want to spend more time on each call, and it's getting increasingly more difficult to do that. With the resources allocated through the levy, we'd be able to focus more on the community, on those more timely calls, and be able to partner with the community to ensure that Kalispell remains the city we all love.
Paid for by the City of Kalispell.